Alright, so I guess this is the worst YouTube channel. I guess that's going to be my intro now. Worst YouTube channel on YouTube. Worst channel on YouTube. That's right. Uh, I do everything with a phone, so yeah, that should show you my quality. Anyway, if you're one of the people who has been watching for a second, you know that this DTS right here, it was broken just a couple of days ago. It's already fixed. Now, what the issue was with this one is most people would think when they hear, oh, DTS, well, that's the head gaskets. Head gaskets were blown. No, that wasn't the issue. It was a relatively simple issue on this car. It was the line right here leading into the power steering. These have a tendency to where eventually they'll go out after a little while. It's just a rubber thing. That one should be good for a long time. And they're not particularly difficult to replace. They're not particularly hard to replace. They're time consuming because they're difficult to get out because they have a little bend. Here, I'll show you the old one. They have a little bend right here that goes around stuff. So now that it's been fixed with a new one, part was about $45 is what I was told. Because this car, I want to make it clear, is my parents' car. I do not own this one. This is not mine. I know it could seem that way, but it isn't. This is not my car. I just tend to know what's wrong with it because it's my parents' car. But yeah, normally you would think, head gaskets. The head gaskets went bad. No. This is a 2006. I thought for the longest time it was a performance motor, but it's not. But in 2006, they redid the head studs. Originally, it's a well-known problem. One's pre-2006. One's pre-2006. The head studs are too short, so they tend to back out, and then the gasket isn't tight, the head isn't tight, it leaks out all that, and then it'll crack the heads and overheat, and they fixed that in 2006. This is the first year with the longer head studs, so you don't have to worry about that issue anymore. They're great motors after that's been done. But yeah, the hardest part about replacing that tube right there, that little inlet, this right here, whatever you want to call that right now, is just getting it out. But now it's got air in all four tires. It was on jacks, but it's good, solid running now. Should be at least. The keys were left in the Tahoe, left in our Tahoe, and that's gone to work. So my dad's gone out there to get the keys to make sure to crank it and check that it's not leaking anything, and everything's still tight. But for the most part, the caddy should be fixed. And I could show you a little bit on the rims right here, or behind the rims on the thing. You see the surface rust? That's not that big of a deal. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's surface rust on there. People will freak out if they don't know anything. They'll see the rust on their brakes and think, "Oh, I gotta replace the rotors." No, that's surface rust. You do not have to replace the rotors. After a car has done sat for a minute, well, especially this one sat for like a week, the rotors will get surface rust on them, and once you start driving again, that'll go away. Surface rust will go away. Now, I did see underneath this car, and it's pretty good. Although the driver's side strut, the shock over here, you won't be able to see it with the wheel on it, but the shock is the rubber starting to go away on it, so that's probably about to have to get replaced eventually. But this side is aftermarket. It's OEM spec, I believe. But this one, I couldn't read the brand, something STR. It's not OEM, not AC Delco. But it is stock spec, probably. I would assume so, considering it's the only one that's been replaced. All the other stuff underneath this hood is good, so this car should be a good running car. I guess some of the things is, if you've seen it, this is not the performance package, as I said. I thought it was for a while, and then it turns out I was just misreading something that said it was. I was misreading that the 9, that it was 9 and Y means performance on the 9th digit of the VIN, or 8th digit of the VIN. No, it's just 9. If the 8th digit is a 9, it is the performance code. Another easy way to tell if it is a performance is normally the grille is blacked out. The easiest way is this beauty cover right here, which needs a little bit of a clean, but whatever, it's under the hood, you don't see it anyway. This beauty cover will say, I think it's HPO or HPN, something like that. High Performance North Star. Or High Output North Star, something like that. It might be HON on it, something about that, on the valve cover. This one just says North Star V8. And the wheels will be 18 inches. 18-inch aluminum wheels, and the suspension is magnetic. This one's 17-inch chrome wheels. This one, I believe, is just Luxury 2. I think this is just the Luxury 2 package. Very nice car. Still very nice. But it's not what I thought it was. Doesn't mean anything's different underneath the power of the hood, because the high performance motor, all it was you got 20 or so horsepower. You were basically given what's on that lawnmower, 20 horse. You were given like 20 extra horses, because the high performance, high output V8 makes 300 foot-pounds of torque, 300 foot-pounds of torque, 291 horsepower. This one makes 275 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds of torque. That's better than the original ones, because beforehand they only made 200. They made 200 horsepower. They made like 300 foot-pounds of. The 90s made a little more horsepower than these. The 90s ones made 300 horsepower, but they made a lot less torque. They made 200 foot-pounds of torque. They were very low on the torque. And I've heard they were very low on the torque. Some of the other things about this car is that right there is not the only thing that would be hard to replace. It's not like difficult as far as doing it to replace. It's difficult to actually get it removed and replaced. But that's pretty much everything on this motor, because look at how much space you have in between belts. I can't even fit my hand down there. But that's pretty much any front-wheel drive V8, even though that is a format you pretty much only exclusively see in Cadillacs. It is in other things. There's a Buick that has a 5.3 aluminum V8 in it, LS V8. The SS Monte Carlo has the LS V8. Of course, the North Stars. The DeVille. There's a couple that have front-wheel drive V8s, but most of them are Chevy. I think there's one that's like a Ferrari V8, and it's front-wheel drive, but it's a European car. I forget what it was. They call it the four-door Ferrari. But that's not regarding this video. Anyway. Yeah, the car should be good now. There shouldn't be any more problems other than preventative maintenance that needs to be done to this thing. Well, I know that light needs to be changed. But, yeah. The DeVille should be fixed. Should be up and running. It needs window tint, but it should be up and running. Anyway, I guess, if you made it this far in the video, if you liked my trash YouTube channel, I guess you could, and you want to support it, the easiest way to do that is by subscribing. Liking, checking the other videos that I'll have in the description, commenting, and sharing to anyone who might be interested. But in that, I guess, thank you for watching, and have a good one. Sorry about the shaky camera.